Value stream impedance. What is it? And do you need a scorecard? Today's 5 minute short. I'm Joshua Barnes. I'm joined by Al Shalloway. And Al, this is an area you've done just a tremendous amount of thought leadership in. So I'm going to turn it over a little bit quicker than I normally do and throw the challenge out to cover it in the remaining part of our 5 minutes.
Okay, great. Thanks, Joshua. Yeah, this is something I've been working on for maybe 15 years, maybe longer. It's kind of my mathematician engineering mindset of trying to figure things out. And let me qualify everything I'm about to say. There are two constraints on everything I'm about to say. I'm talking about product in the context of product development and knowledge work. And I know you cannot get full predictability. I mean, I know that. And some people accuse me of not knowing that, but I do. So everything, keep that in mind. So starting around 2005, 2007, we've been having at Net Objective some good success. And I was trying to figure out what worked and what didn't work. And I was seeing patterns of things where some things were just always bad and we were, or better, not always better, but sometimes better. And we were looking back in value streams then because we were into lean and things, Womack and Jones's book, Lean Thinking, started out with value, the value stream, so we were, flow. So we've been in this for like 20 years and our lean background goes back further. So what I was looking at is what's slowing you down. And you all have this experience. You've sometimes gone into places and it's, wow, this is great. And then you've gone into places, wow, this is horrible. I would suggest that you have an intuitive sense already of what slows work down. The power, though, of being explicit is very strong. And a lot of people don't do this and think you can't do this. In fact, Scrum, which is kind of the undercurrent of Agile, Jeff Sutherland says Scrum is based on complex adaptive systems. And I've been fighting this idea for years. Maybe Scrum is, but that's not a good thing to be doing. I remember years ago, they would show these termites and houses, and birds and show how everything can work in a complex adaptive system without any leadership. But we're not doing that. That's not what we're doing. This is not about that kind of holistic environment. So I've been looking for what is going on. And I want to read two quotes first, and then I'm going to ask you to pose the question yourself. And then I'm going to read what's value stream impedance scorecard is. Basically, I'll tell you what it is. It's a way of looking at the problem in knowledge work and seeing what's slowing you down and what if you improved it would make things better. Okay. And in a complex system, you obviously have to check and validate and use feedback. But here are a couple of quotes from Ellie Goldratt in The Choice. Everybody knows The Goal, but The Choice is as good a book, and that's very high praise. The first and most profound obstacle is that people believe that reality is complex, and therefore they are looking for sophisticated explanations for complicated solutions. Do you understand how devastating that is? And partly what he's saying is it looks immense, we don't do it. The difficulty is that if I'm not sure, really sure, that a second effect does exist, I might stay inside the box. It is always safer to stay within the comfortable boundaries of a box than to jump out into the unknown. Since the other effect is not within the box, I will not find it. I'll give up searching and remain stuck with the tautology, circular logic, basically. Comfort zone has less to do with control and more to do with knowledge. Now, I'm going to tell you what the 9 factors that I call them are for the value stream impedance scorecard. Things that when you make better, things go better. Things that when they go worse, they go worse. Now, it's not always perfect, of course, because it's a complex system. But I will suggest when it doesn't go better, you will discover a relationship in the system you didn't understand or even see. Relationships are not about the components, systems are not about the components, but more so the relationships between the components. We can't see all those relationships in complex systems. So before I start, I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Think of a time something went wrong. I want you to think of some problem you had. And now I'm going to read these 9. And I want you to reflect every time I say this on that one problem to see, did one of these factors have an impact? So first of all, were you working on small, high-value items, or are you working on big projects? Were queues being managed? In other words, was the work sometimes getting stuck because there was a lot of work and it got stuck and did it move forward? Were you getting quick feedback? Was the product quality high? Were you overloaded? This will probably wipe out about everybody there. In other words, working on one thing, focusing on the most important small value item, getting quick feedback with high quality. How about that? That's pretty good. Is all the work in workflow visible so you're not surprising people? Were people organized so you didn't have to have a lot of handoffs? Or were they in cross-functional teams? Were the development teams primarily working on one value stream, or are they in multiple value streams, getting a lot of multitasking? And were people attending to the value stream, not just their job, but the whole thing? Now, I know that was a lot. You probably couldn't do it. Maybe listen to this again. But I suggest, and I'll tag these up and put them on the LinkedIn post when it gets up there. But I suggest that just about every time there's a problem, it's because we're doing the wrong thing. It's like driving backwards on the wrong side of the road, looking through the rear view mirror, complaining about how complicated things are, how complex things are. The value stream impedance scorecard are 9 factors that you can quantify, break down what they are, what gets improvement or not. And when you start looking at it, you'll see the pattern of it. You just have to know not to believe it 100%. It's a guide. It's like a compass, but it works pretty well. Anyway, that was a lot. Did it in 6 minutes, but that's not so bad.
Not so bad at all.
Hope you found value in this.
Thanks, everyone. If you're watching this live or if you're watching it on replay, and if you got any questions or thoughts on this, please post on LinkedIn, and we'll see you on our next 5-minute short.